Hi everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Well, just woke up a little while ago. I really sleep good while I'm here. I remember that when I was staying in this little place back in May and June. I stayed here for a good while then. I think I stayed here for like a total of 3 or 4 weeks. And yeah, I always sleep really good in this room, so I'm really rested today and ready to go. Don't have so much rushing around to do, just going to enjoy, catch up with a few people today. And I wanted to talk about the top 3 raw vegan transition tips, or my opinion on my top 3 raw vegan transition tips. I do videos similar to this every day. Sometimes I get a little bit off the subject of food, so I'd love it if you'd come back. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And when you hit the subscribe button, click on the bell and check send notifications so you will stay subscribed to the channel. Just want to tell you guys real quick before I get started too. Sorry I'm not responding to any comments on the last two or three videos, but down here at the beach, I don't have Wi-Fi at the little hotel, or I can't connect my computer, my laptop to Wi-Fi at the hotel, and I just have my iPhone. And for answering a bunch of comments on iPhone, I'm not that good. That's the one thing I'm not good at, like the kids. I don't have the multi-thumbs. I can't text like that. But anyhow, I'll be back. I'm going back to the mountain tomorrow, and I'll get back at it. I may not catch up on the comments from past videos, but I'll be back to answering comments on further videos. But anyhow, first one that I always say to anybody, no matter whether you're transitioning or whatever. This is just like general advice. Don't let yourself get hungry, but especially in the beginning. Now, some people will argue that you should kind of, for your body to know, like, let your body wait till it gets hungry. I don't know. Like I say, I have to think outside the box when I'm talking about other people, because I just kind of do things in an orthodox way. I just do what works for me, but I don't necessarily always know what works for me or the best methods for other people. I don't ever really get very hungry, and I've kind of gotten to a point now where it's not a disaster if I do. The worst thing is like I tend to undereat if I do. Like on this trip to the beach, I've been just running around the last 2 days, just kind of catching some food where I can. That's a good thing. I mean, I'm kind of giving my system a break, because yesterday was very, very heavy. I had juice, and then I had like four big smoothies, and then just ate a little fruit. So very high water content. So it's not a bad thing. But for most people, you have to keep yourself satiated. If you're transitioning from, depending on even how far, but if you're transitioning from the standard American diet, a bad version of the standard American diet, you're going to have cravings, and you're going to have tastes that are lingering around, that are hanging on. And as soon as you start letting yourself get hungry, it's like those little voices in your head. Those little voices in your head, when you get hungry, they're going to tell you things. They're going to remind you of things you used to eat. Oh, you used to love that. Don't you want some of that? You can get started over again on this plan later. You can do this. What I'm getting at is the brain in this stage of things, when you're transitioning, when you're new to this, it's going to tempt you. It's going to start it's going to go, way off the rails on what it wants to suggest to you if you let yourself get hungry. So don't let yourself get hungry. Keep yourself satiated throughout the day. Eat plenty of food. Even in the transition state, err on the side of eating too much. I'm not one of those people that advocates, like cramming food in and just eat. But in the beginning, eat. Definitely don't hold back. Eat as much as you can absolutely eat. Later on, you can figure it out, and I'm not saying you'll necessarily need to do that all the time. This is like getting this new lifestyle established. And, so you just think basics, you think simplicity. You keep yourself full all the time, or you keep yourself satisfied and satiated all the time, so your head doesn't go to those temptations. Just do it. That's what's going to keep you kind of on your path. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, and okay. Now this is kind of the same advice I don't see people taking with food or the raw vegan lifestyle, or just when they make a healthy change in their life. I give the same advice to them that you tend to give to people that are quitting drinking or that are quitting smoking cigarettes. in different things. Don't put yourself in tempting situations. Don't put yourself around things that can trigger you. Don't put yourself in these social situations. If you have to sequester yourself away for a while, I hear all these people, why do you folks go through life with all these obligations? I hear all the time, well, I can't do that. I have to go here. I have to go see this. I have this gathering. No, you don't. Nobody's going to die if you don't show up at some sort of a meeting, reunion, gathering, or whatever. And I'm not saying you have to sequester yourself for the rest of your life. I'm not saying you have to become antisocial. I'm not saying you have to become a crazy old loner like me. But transition period, while you're getting this thing set, and you may not do this even your whole transition period, but I'm saying for sure the first 3-4 weeks, maybe 2 months, you just don't put yourself in these really tempting situations. You know, you don't go to the family gathering or this sort of gathering and that sort of gathering that you know is just going to be certain rich, creamy, fatty, nasty foods that you crave, that used to be good to us, that you're going to be like, it's going to be calling to every fiber of your being. You know, now I understand, okay, hey, maybe there's something out there, there's life events, you know, you can't skip a wedding when you're doing this, or you're not going to skip something, you know, very important of your kids, but other than that, you sequester yourself. You tell people you can't go right now. You don't have any social obligations to show up, but yeah, you know, like you know, if you quit drinking, would you tell somebody that just quit drinking and is trying to, you know, not drink anymore? Yeah, you don't go hang out in bars. Don't go to bars initially. Not saying you can never go to a bar ever again, but don't hang around in bars when you've just given up drinking. Don't go to parties where your friends are going to be drinking and potentially saying, hey, come on, you can have a drink. One's not going to hurt you. It makes sense. It's the same thing, you know. The cigarettes, I guess, are more because it's not like we're going to you know, advocate drinking either. I remember the suggestion used to be, if you're giving up cigarettes, don't drink for a while too, because a lot of people that smoke and drink associate those two. But still, the point being the same, is you eliminate those, you eliminate the temptation, you eliminate potential triggers out there, anything that can be a trigger. Listen, anything you want to do in life, like I say, I like to do videos that can be taken, the big point can be taken to anything. You'll figure out a way to do it. You will do it. Listen, if it's tough for you, it's just like anything in life. Athletes even. There's some athletes that don't have to work at it all that much. They have natural ability. They have to, you know, they go to practice, they train a little bit, but it just kind of flows. Then you have other people, it doesn't happen like that. They don't have that natural ability, and they get to be great because they bang. They do whatever they have to do to make up for that lack of the natural talent or whatever. So you do the same thing. If you're somebody that has a hard time on this lifestyle, if you have your food addictions, or if you have this reason and that reason why it doesn't work for you when it's working for other people, you got to work a little harder. You have to do whatever little tip and trick it takes to make it work for you. And it might be just something that I'm not going to tell you, it's something silly inside your head, but you have to figure it out. And it's, how do I convey this, what I'm exactly trying to say? It's like you have to be proactive. You can't just sit back and just whine because it's not working and ask people question after question. Well, throw me a lifeline, throw me another recipe. No, you do little tips and tricks like this. It's psychology, it's playing. And then my third one goes right into that, plan your days. And like I would say on that too is you have to be more detailed on your planning the more you're struggling on this, or the more you find this lifestyle difficult. You know, I'm not necessarily talking about you have to make a meal plan for every day, but I would plan. Planning is essential. And I'm talking about long-term planning and day-to-day planning. You might have a plan, you know, it wouldn't be that bad to even sit down. I've never even really thought about this, and actually detailing your plan, just sitting down before you get started and detailing your transition. You know, like, okay, week one, I'm gonna, or, you know, it doesn't have to be, I mean, when I say detailed, it doesn't have to be tick, 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 step by step, but, you know, kind of just a rough plan, like, okay, week one, we're gonna get rid of, or we're gonna cut from here to here on the meat. We're gonna cut from here to here on the dairy. We're gonna get those animal products down. We're gonna put more good things in. Week two, we do this. Week four, and sit and put it down. Put it down on paper if you have to. How you're going to progress through your transition. If you're serious about being successful on this. Or if you're serious about being successful in anything in life, you will do these kind of silly little things that might sound silly, like sit down and write down things. I used to think those things were kind of hokey myself, but it just depends on how bad you want it to happen. But yeah, plan out kind of how your transition's going to go, like that, like the big picture, like how you're going to switch things over, like, okay, week 1, week 2, kind of, and roughly, you know, it's a loose plan there. And then if you have to, think day to day, you know, like if you're a busy person, on the weekend, on Sundays, you think about those first 2 or 3 days of the week. Have food in the house. Part of the planning is having the food in the house, have food in the house, and have a plan of what you're going to eat out of that food for 2 or 3 days. And, you know, just kind of keep that going, and always have that plan to where you can, you know, that you drop back on. Anyhow, I'm getting a little bit hungry here, so I think I'm about to go get some breakfast here. Hopefully an acai bowl. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If y'all like it, please give me a thumbs up. And I'm shooting a couple of videos. I'm doing a video, kind of a just at the beach video of the whole trip, just here and there, scattered stuff. I'm currently also today shooting what I eat on the road video. We'll see if that one comes out. I don't know. I'm not big on taking camera around with me and shooting everywhere that I sit and eat. I'm a little bit more private than that in my daily life. But anyhow, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Peace.